Hello there, friends. I'd like to speak a little today about surrendering into uncertainty. We're going through a huge global shift at the moment. There's no denying that. It's disguised as COVID-19, but it is a global shift that is going to change everything. It's going to change so much about the way we have lived, and which was terribly out of alignment with the planet. It's also going to change how we relate to each other, but it's also going to change how we relate to our own lives. And none of us know at this point from one day to the next where we stand, because things are changing so quickly. So there's a lot going on out on the internet. The internet is our link to each other. Thank goodness for it, to be in a time of such upheaval and to be able to connect with each other via the internet. But there's sort of two camps going on there. So one is that there's a lot of people now have a lot of extra time on their hands because they're not working. There is another camp, which I belong to, who have children at home now, and they have even less time than ever. And so we're all trying to navigate our way through. And some people who have a lot of extra time are over the moon about it. Some people will be really uncomfortable with it, perhaps not in the first week or two, but this could go on for a long time. This may not just be for a month or so. The signs are indicating that we're actually going to be in this space for significantly, for quite some months. So then there's those of us. I mean, I was homeschooling my daughter Eleanor before a year and a bit ago. So I'm okay with her being at home. I'm sort of used to that myself, and I've built a support system around me. So I'm feeling okay. I have to navigate it. I have to support my little girls' feelings, which are pretty big. All the kids of the world have this underlying anxiety at the moment. Just even if it's not showing up as anxiety, their need to connect with us more is strengthened, is heightened. It's increased. So in order to be the best mum, I have to actually honour my own limits and understand that this, for me personally, this isn't a huge time of work. It's a time of being as present as possible for my little girl. So I'm more in motherhood mode than I am in work mode. But for a lot of the people, and it doesn't really matter which camp you're in, the point I'm going to make will apply to both. But a lot of the people who are in the other camp, where they have a lot more time on their hands, some of those are introverts and they're just thinking, this is beautiful, I can definitely deal with this. They've got stacks of books and they're happy, which is what I would be doing if I wasn't in motherhood mode. And I'm not, when I say I'm happy, I mean I'm accepting and peaceful. I don't think any of us are rebounding off the walls with joy right now. But there is this other part of that camp of those who have more time on their hands, and what I'm seeing online particularly in the self-employed female entrepreneurial world, there are a lot of people out there saying, you've got to create during this time, you've got to use this time well, and what are you going to take out of this time, and what are you going to create, and Whew. What about, gosh, I'm exhausted just explaining it, let alone doing all of that. I understand where those good-hearted, well-intended people are coming from. We've been given the gift of time, and certainly I recommend using it as well as possible. But don't be creating and putting pressure on yourself thinking, I've got all this time, I've got to do something with it. Maybe the lesson is to surrender into the uncertainty and then find that allow the quietness to tell you what it wants you to do, rather than adding the word should, that I've got all this time, I should do this, I should do that. This is a really challenging time for everybody. The carpet's been pulled out, the rug's been pulled out from underneath us, and there's no certainty from one day to the next right now. And not that there ever really was, we just thought there was. But what I'm trying to say is, if you can dare to surrender into the uncertainty a little, there will be a quiet space within you that can then actually guide you forward. So perhaps even ask this time, what are you here to teach me? What do you want me to do with this time I've been given? And it may be, I want you to slow down. I want you to just relax and stop thinking about the future for a little while because it's really out of your hands right now. I would like you to give yourself permission to slow down, just be in each day as it unfolds, and to let me guide you. So one of the great things about surrendering, and if you've read my book Bloom, you'll know that I've really become an advocate for surrender because it has taught me so many incredibly wonderful lessons. But a huge part of surrender is developing a stronger sense of presence. And when you live with more presence, life actually becomes so much easier. You're not caught up in as many fears about the future or stuck in the past. You're actually there for your life right now. And, realistically speaking, some of us in this community may die during this chapter, may die from COVID-19 or may die from other things during this time. And while I don't wish that on any of us, what I do want to say is try your best to be present during this time. And what will often happen is if you do that and you create the space and you allow yourself the slowness, even if you don't achieve anything for a month, it doesn't matter. The achievement is that you have been more present for your life. And that is a much bigger achievement that will support you when life opens back up again. If you can master presence, that is one of the best achievements, or increased presence. That is one of the best achievements you can take out of this time. So surrendering takes faith. It takes, and whatever your faith is, it can just be faith in life. But it is basically saying, I don't know what to do right now, and I am not going to create any more turmoil for myself by forcing things that aren't flowing or by acting out of fear or terror. I really don't know what to do right now, so I'm going to allow myself some time off from this, and I'm just going to be, and I'm going to do something that nurtures my heart instead. So I'll leave that with you for today. Just consider that surrendering into the uncertainty can actually be a really positive time. If you're called to create right now, create. Go for it and bring it out to us on the other side of this. Share it with the world. But if you're feeling like you should be doing something just because it's coming at you everywhere on the internet, or because that's the habit you had created where you always feel you need to be doing something, maybe the lesson here is to step back and surrender into the uncertainty and to actually say, what do you want to teach me? What can I take out of this time? What lessons? How can I embrace this time in a way that will bring more peace to my heart? And then life will let you know, and it will call you to serve as you step out of this time. We're all going to be serving each other on so many defined ways and invisible ways, where the wisdom that we're all gaining through this time is going to benefit the planet so much. But for now, if you are forcing yourself to create because you've got all this time on your hands, maybe you're coming at it from the wrong angle. Create if you're called to create, definitely. But if you're not called to create, don't create, or don't be trying to force things just because you feel you should. Let's get rid of should. Let's take it out. We've got enough pressure, enough going on right now. Okay, dear people, please look after yourselves. Stay home, stay well. Send as much kindness out there to everyone. All those statistics are our sisters and brothers of the human family. There are beautiful people, scared, lonely, dying every minute. So let's hold all of those people who are sick right now in our hearts. Let's hold all those families who cannot reach their loved ones in our hearts. Let's hold all of us, everyone, each other, in our hearts, because we're all in this together, and there is uncertainty for all of us. But the more we can surrender into this with trust, then the more peace we're going to find through it, and the more we're going to serve humanity well on the other side. Okay, God bless, take care, stay home.